Yeah, I've got a couple here. I've got a old Stag here. Stag, not old, Stag beer. And I also have the Shiner Premium beer. I happened to pick them both up this week. I think how much effervescence is still going on in that glass. Both glasses, by the way. Oh, I got some serious wind kicking up. Both glasses my wife found at flea market, so I thought I'd give them a shot here. This one is there's no name on it. I thought it was just an interesting little shape, sort of somewhere between a Pilsner and a chalice. Here's a classic stemmed Heineken Pilsner glass. So I was curious. Stag is one of those beers. It is one of those classic macros, a regional beer. I don't know if it's it's an adjunct lager, not necessarily a macro. It's what I buy for nostalgia every time I see it in bottles. I actually can buy it here in town in cans, but there's something about the old school bottles I like to buy, so I do buy them when I can find it. I found a 12-pack for $9.99 in Columbia, Missouri this weekend. And then this one, the Shiner Premium, runs about $8 a 6-pack, but I actually purchased this in a mix pack in Columbia, Missouri for 16. It was a mixed 12 for 16. I can't find the IBUs on the Stag. I found an ABV at 5.2. This one is 4.13 IBUs. They don't mention, let's see if it says here. They're a little shy about mentioning ingredients on the Shiner site. I don't know if it is an all malt beer. I'm personally guessing that it is not. There are similarities in both of these. Very similar colors, and it could be the glass I'm using, but the Shiner's got some serious carbonation, but it's probably because I'm using this classic stem Pilsner. It's causing that effervescence going on. Oh, yeah. I'm one of those folks, I don't necessarily drink beers like this a lot, but I do think there's a time and place. I mean, when I see folks drinking macros, if they drink macros all the time, I do try to push them in the area of a craft beer, a craft Pilsner. Sometimes, for instance, the Boulevard KC Pills in my neighborhood, and in a lot of stores is more expensive than the big macros, without mentioning any names. So I will point that out, and if they like that with some extra flavor, then then we kind of get somebody moving on a path. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to disrespect folks for drinking beers like this. If that's what you like, drink it. But for me, it's mostly about nostalgia. I don't know. Sometimes I enjoy a beer like Stag when it's a hot day. It's I do think they serve as a decent lawnmower beer. I know that's not a popular craft beer thing to say, but sometimes you're just in the mood, right? I mean, I grew up drinking this type of beer, so every once in a while it just hits the spot for one reason or another. And, it's mostly nostalgia, but sometimes you think, oh, what the hell. Trying to detect some noticeable differences. There's just a lot of similarities. I mean, oddly enough, the Stag is actually a little sharper on the finish than the Shiner is. It's a little less ABV, but it does, and it doesn't seem anything wrong with it. It's a classic beer. Now let me try the Stag here. There certainly is a lot of similarities on these two beers. Man, this is my first two beers of the day. So anyway, yeah, I mean, a lot of beers like this can almost be interchangeable, but all of the classic macros do have that one little thing that separates them from the other. You know, they all have that specific flavor. Some of them use more adjuncts than others. Some of them use better quality of adjuncts than others, and that's going to make a little bit of a difference. You know, I've never disrespected folks for drinking these beers. My issue is that, you know, when people want to say, well, this beer is every bit as good as a craft. Well, no, it's not. I mean, that's like saying my fast food burger is as good as my gourmet burger. No, it's not as quality. The quality isn't the same. Now, you can say all day that you enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to disrespect you, but you can't compare quality to a beer, you know, a beer like Stag, for instance, to the KC Pils that Boulevard does. It's a whole other animal. The Boulevard beer isn't all malt Pilsner. It is much cleaner, it's much crisper. They do use top quality ingredients. But that's not to say that, you know, there's maybe not a time and place for this beer, as obviously because it's obvious because I've purchased it. But I just take exception with folks when they ramble on about, you know, how good this beer is. And, you know, it's just not the same quality. It's like that fast food burger that you've ate your whole life. You know, you enjoy that flavor. You want that specific taste. That's fine, man. But it's not as quality as the gourmet burger. And it's the same thing. You know, if you like beers like this, there's nothing wrong with that. But they are basically the fast food of the beer world. You know, they aren't artisan, and that's the difference. But if you like them, you like them. And obviously, I've got a nice day out here, and I'm enjoying these two. I like to pour that craft beer and check the nose and swish and swirl and detect flavors, but not always. You know, sometimes it's hot. I just want to sit back, relax, and just drink an old familiar taste. And that's what beers like this are. The Stag and the Shiner. I mean, they're just old familiar flavors, and there's not a damn thing wrong with that. Ah, here we go. Time for the Stag. Hold on. I have had people ask me about chugging. I can't chug. I have some issues because I've had chronic acid reflux. I've got some scarring. And I can't do that classic, you know, open your throat and chug move. But sometimes, you know, you can get a nice, good swig down anyway. Because, you know, I mean, I was 21 once. You know? I'm not saying I've never shotgunned a beer or done a beer bomb, but I think it seems, to me, it feels pathetic to see a 50-year-old person do it. You know, I mean, it shouldn't be about... Drinking at 50 is different than drinking at 21. Drinking at 21, you want to get drunk. Drinking at 50 should be more about the enjoyment. It's the same, like, traveling, for instance. When you're 21, you want to get to that destination. But at my age of 50, I want to relax and enjoy the scenery, man. I want to see everything. And drinking is the same way. It's not about, when you're 21, it's all about getting drunk. When you're 50, it should be about the enjoyment, the pleasure, enjoying whatever you're drinking, enjoying the pleasure of the company of people around you. It should be a different experience. If you're still drinking at 50 like you did at 21, I think you might have some issues. That's just my opinion. That's what I do. I do commentary. And I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, and I'll see you later.